Hari Om, everyone. Ancient wisdom, modern living. Why, in the 21st century, should we study a philosophy that is over 5,000 to 8,000 years old? Why? I know some of you are attending classes, are studying different texts like the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads. What is the relevance in our day-to-day life? Anybody? How does it impact you? Something taught, discovered, refined over thousands of years. How does it affect your sleep, your family life? The reason is this subject is based on eternal principles of life. It's called Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means eternal. Dharma means principles. So it's the laws of life and living. It does not change. So just as in mathematics or in engineering, we are here in this building now. How do you know that the roof will not collapse? How do you know? Say, oh no, I know the builder. Builder is very good. Do you really? But this building is standing on principles of physics, principles of mathematics. So it's applied mathematics. The same thing. When it comes to life, Vedanta is the knowledge, the principles, the laws of life and living. They don't change. Just as gravity has not changed. Who discovered gravity? No. Gravity was always there. Newton merely revealed it. Same thing. These principles of life and living, they've always been there. But these sages and saints who went into solitude, they revealed them and they shared it. And today we have an opportunity to learn some of these principles. And if we absorb these principles, we can make what might take decades of experience, reflection, we can get them right now. Whatever age we are, use it to improve the life that we're in. The subject is called Vedanta. And that is the ancient wisdom. And it comes from two Sanskrit words. Veda means knowledge, Anta means end. So it's the complete philosophy of life. It takes you to the end of life, which is, don't say death. That you don't need Vedanta for. Eternal enlightenment. Because that is what we are here for. Every human being, whether in this room or outside this room, whether in Vegas or Varanasi, every human being is looking for absolute fulfillment. But where are we looking? In marriage, how's that going? In children, in family, how's that going? Every effort that we put in is with the hope of lasting happiness. But what we are finding is that every one of those pursuits is disappointing. Because you are looking in the wrong place. It's not the world's fault. It's not the family's fault. It's not the partner's fault. It's not the children's fault. You are looking for happiness in the wrong destination. The only place that can give you lasting fulfillment is within yourself. And that's what we are here for, is to find out what we're really about. And you find that you get into the essence of your being. We saw the earlier video. You find the ocean within. End of knowledge. You don't need to do anything else. Whatever you do, blissful. Whatever you don't do, blissful. Whatever happens, positive, blissful. Whatever happens, negative, still blissful. What a state. So let us rethink our approach to Vedanta. Have you ever heard yourself saying, it's very easy for you, Sudhakar, you are living in the ashram. But what about us in the real world? What is this real world? Vedanta says, Jagat Mithya Brahma Satyam. This whole world is unreal. You are saying real world? What is the truth? What is the reality? There is no two worlds. There is only your experience. There is your life. So do not think of there is my material world and there is spiritual world. You have one life. And if you are trying to put these two together, it doesn't work. It is one life. So how to make this life happier, deeper, lighter, more spiritual? Swami Ramatirtha, he puts it beautifully. He says, Vedanta brings you a religion which is found in the streets, which is written upon the leaves, which is murmured in the brooks, which is whispered in the winds, which is throbbing in your veins and arteries. A religion which concerns your business and your bosom. A religion which you have not to practice by going to a particular church, mosque or temple only. A religion which you have to practice and live in your everyday life, in your hearth, in your dining room, everywhere. So today's session is to absorb a few practices that we can take back from this great philosophy, from this ancient wisdom, and use it in our business, in our bosom, our family life, and in our pursuit to the ultimate. So we're going to give practices at the different levels. What are the different levels? Anyone? What are the different levels of the personality? Body, mind, intellect. Exactly. Every human being is made up of a body, a mind, that's the feeling center of you. Body is the external container that performs actions, and the intellect which does the thinking, analysis. So we're going to do some practices at the body level, then at the emotional level, but then also at the thinking intellectual level. And I'm going to use the Sanskrit word for each of these practices. The first word is tapah. What does tapah mean? Anybody? Say it loud. Austerity. Penance. Austerity. When we think about austerity, we think about people standing on one leg, maybe doing 108 Surya Namaskars. These are not the type of rituals that austerity is. The first physical discipline is tapaha, austerity, which means what do you do with your energy? There are three parts in tapaha, austerity. Number one, are you avoiding wasting your energy? Number two, are you conserving your energy? And number three, are you directing your energy towards what you want to achieve? Okay? So, if I was to ask you, what is your goal, young man?
Just let's get a degree.
Sorry?
Let's go get a degree.
Mhm.
I just want money.
Hmm?
So, okay.
Don't say just. When you say just, it diminishes your goal. Right? You're completing your degree. All right. So if you take that, what is tapaha? Austerity with respect to completing my degree. First one, avoid wasting energy. So what would be wasting energy? Things that what wastes your energy that does not help you complete your degree. Huh? Yeah, doom scrolling. All right. Hours go. It's very interesting. If you see the screen time, how much time you spend on your phone. And there's one interesting stat that they put there is how many times do you flip your phone? Just you reach into your pocket and you turn the phone. Nobody's messaged. No one is calling. But maybe find the 75 times maybe a day. But this is taking you away from studying, completing the degree. Now it's up to you to decide, what are my distractions? Where do I waste my energy? Am I watching too much television? Am I having a conversation that is not productive? No, how long do I need to do a morning gossip for? Who wore what? Who said what? Who ate how much? How much time do we need to spend on that? So we start analyzing and we say, this is not a good use of energy. Close it. But it's for you to decide. Where am I avoiding? The other part is conserving energy. And the best way to conserve energy is rest. Are you rested enough to do what you need to do to the best of your ability? And if you follow cricket? Yeah. No? What sport do you follow? Do you follow any sport? Yes. No, not into sports. Okay. If you find any performer, we'll start with cricket, we'll move on to another field. You would find the greatest of players, most famous Indian captain, MS Dhoni. But if you see MS Dhoni before a match or before he goes into bat, he looks so chilled. It's almost like you want to go and remind him, hey, there's a match on. Look, it's the final. But his whole attitude is, why spend energy on an intense warm-up? Save the energy, and when you go out on the field, full activity. Don't waste energy. The same thing with Roger Federer. Incredible training before the match. But when he's doing the warm-up before the match, it looks like he's playing country club tennis. Why? Because he's saving it for the match. You might have heard of Taylor Swift. Incredible training routine. But when she has a concert to perform, no speaking, no coming out of the room. All the energy is for the stage. So this is conservation of energy. And are you resting? And I'm not talking about endless holidays, but in your day, is there some rest for you to be at your best? And the last one is how to direct your energy towards your goal. So the question we have to ask ourselves when we do action, is this taking me closer or further away from my goal? Even today's satsang, is it taking me towards my goal or further from my goal? This is the physical discipline, which is, what is it called? What is the physical discipline? I'm checking. Number 1, you're following. Number 2, everybody can read. I'm asking the question, nobody's answering. Avanya is giving a beautiful assistance. There it is, tapaha. Let us be focused. Let us remove the things we do not need. Let us focus on the things that we want. Leonardo da Vinci, he calls it simplicity. But simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Why? Because it's a result of so much of thinking. Go into your homes. Look around. What do you need? That vase, do you really need it? No, Rotary gave me the vase. Therefore, you should keep it? No, one person was passing through and, they did not want to take it back to their country, so they left it with me. I'm keeping it. For what? And clutter up your cupboard, your house, your room? Give it away. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Why? Because you're very clear in your thinking. Necessary? Not necessary. Now, the emotional disciplines. The discipline at the level of the mind is. First one. We're going to do 2 disciplines at the level of the mind, 2 disciplines at the level of the intellect. The first discipline is ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-injury. Most people think it means non-violence. Non-violence, non-killing. Sometimes you may have to kill. In fact, you cannot exist without killing. When you boil water for a cup of tea, you are killing organisms. When you walk, when you build, you are killing organisms. So you cannot exist without killing. And at the same time, in different contexts, you may have to defend yourself. Somebody comes to attack you in your home. You defend your family. You defend your country. Violence is necessary. So then what is ahimsa? What does that mean?
Focused purpose.
Sorry?
Focused purpose.
Focus purpose. What does non-injury mean then? Sorry? Not harming?
It's the intention.
Intention? Yes. It is the intention. It is not the act. Our mentor, Swami Parthasarathi, he says, you are more concerned about your act of kindness than your thought of kindness. When you are planning a wedding for your son or daughter, how do you decide who to invite? You are more concerned of your act of kindness. Oh, no, we have to invite them. Why? They invited us 10 years ago. And then your son says, but mom, dad, do you really like them? No, we don't like them. But we have to invite them. Huh? That person, they go on talking, but we must invite them. Why, mom, dad? If you don't enjoy them, I don't know them. Why? We are more concerned with the act of kindness. We think, what will they think? But then if you are saying, aye, welcome, when they come into the wedding, and when they go, oh, I hope he doesn't eat too much food. See, what is the intention? That is not ahimsa. Ahimsa could mean sometimes you may have to be firm. An employee, perhaps your child, is not cooperating. Sometimes you may need to be firm. So your action is firm, it's intense. You might raise your voice, to get a point through. But inside, it's all for the benefit of that person. Your child wants to touch the flame. on the stove and the child is going near it. And what are you going to say? Darling, do you know that fire is hot? That when you put your finger there, it will burn and pain. Will you do that? Say, move away from the fire. It will hurt you. So, depending on the context, but the intention is to benefit the other person. How does this practice come about? It comes from an understanding. And this is why it's one of the qualities of an intellectual, of a jnani, because it is one who understands how all of us are expressions of God, Brahman, reality. So if I hurt you, I'm hurting myself because we are all one. So ahimsa is about understanding the interconnectedness of all of us. We're all one. And how can we live in a way that is considerate? Considerate of each other. I don't know so much about Nairobi, but is there consideration on the roads? Is everybody saying, after you? Please, you go.
Nothing like that.
In India, it's a question of geometry. How can we squeeze past the other guy and get the car in a particular angle that there is no way that he can go past without hitting me? What is this geometry? And each one, inching, so close, and then the person closes the side mirrors to go a little bit closer. Suppose each one was, you go. You go. In South Africa, at a four-way stop, perhaps this came out of necessity because in South Africa, half the time there's no power. Beautiful system. What? As you come, you wait your turn, next. So it's four-way stop. Imagine, it's a huge junction. It's going so smoothly. Some people say, maybe let's not have the traffic light. Because there's this feeling of consideration. Everybody's in a hurry. But there's an order. There's a system. Now I'm saying, when we move, are we aware of our movement? You know, you get into a lift and you knock somebody over. Some people don't even notice. When you're in an aeroplane and you're going down the aisle, some people have backpacks. And then their friend calls them and they turn and they knock one nani over. That auntie was almost, end of life. One backpack turn. Where is the consideration? Or you find, when the plane arrives, it's at the landing, it's moving towards parking, and the air hostess is saying, ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. Do not attempt to take your baggage from the overhead bins. Please remain seated. And what do people do? As soon as the wheels touch the runway, people are getting off. The plane is still moving. One person sitting in the middle seat is reaching over the other person, taking over the overhead cabin. Bags are coming down, knocks one person in the head, and everybody is squashed in the queue, in the aisle. Where is the ahimsa? And as William Shakespeare says, you go to do you know not what. What is the rush? What is the hurry? Is there a race? First one out of the plane wins a prize. And each person, as if their life depends on it. No, ideally, row by row, disembarks. But what happens here? is somebody goes, then what happens from the back? They start running with the bag. So they see you moving. Now what do? Do you put your leg out? Do you put your arm out? Do you take the chance? Sometimes you look back and you give this appeal of humanity. Say, let us practice ahimsa. Brother to brother, sister to sister, and you meet that person's gaze and you say, let me go. Give me a chance. And that person looks at you and goes faster. Ahimsa is such a powerful quality because it makes us understand that we are not alone, that others are also sharing this space. And I'm saying we battle to do this perhaps even with family. Now, what about other human beings? What about animals? Can we exist with the minimal harm? What do you eat? Where is that food coming from? Is there harm in the food that you choose? Now, this is not a lecture on vegetarianism or veganism. That's not the idea. You might be a vegetarian terrorist. So it's not about what you eat. It's about personally, can I live with less harm to others? In sport, can I avoid a sport that hurts another animal? You know, they have competitive fishing. Can you imagine? You're calmly walking through a park, Karura forest, and suddenly a hook through your throat and somebody pulling you? Can you imagine that? And then some are proud of it. Say, look how humane we are. We catch the fish, but we throw it back. What would be the trauma of that fish? So the idea of it is, let us examine our food choices, our lifestyle choices, and see how we can reduce harm. Because the other side of ahimsa, non-injury, is simply kindness, love. How do we talk to others? Husband and wife. How do we talk to somebody who has served you so much, who has given you companionship over the years? How do you talk to that person? Can we not use words? Can we not take the time to address somebody who has had such an impact in our lives? With kindness? With patience? And the opposite happens. We think because someone is close to us, we can abuse them. Because somebody is close to us, they can put up with our temper. They can put up with our moodiness. Shouldn't it be the other way around? Ahimsa. The second aspect or quality that we'd like to practice is ksantih. Ksantih is not shanti as in peace. Kshanti with a K. It means forgiveness. What is forgiveness? Forgiveness is more difficult to practice than ahimsa. Why? Ego, yes. Pride, yes. But why is it more difficult?
The mind tends toward the negative emotion more than it reinforces more.
It reinforces. Yeah, the mind replays that situation. It goes over it, over and over. My best friend. How can that person do that to who? To me. The trouble with forgiveness is, to practice it is when somebody has done harm to you. So when you are practicing ahimsa, you are trying not to harm others. But when somebody has harmed you, we feel that it's justified to want to think harm of them, want to harm them as a sort of karmic relevance. We're going to be talking about karma on Tuesday at Trademark Hotel. That's the topic. We're going to be clarifying that. But if you think about it, when you hold that negative feeling, how do you feel? You feel good. There is a negative pleasure. There is a negative pleasure of revenge. There is a negative pleasure in jealousy. There is a negative pleasure also in not forgiving. There's a line from a movie where a person goes to another person and says, "Let it go." And the person replies, "Don't rob me of the only thing I have in life, my hatred." But the trouble is, that feeling does you more harm in the long term. This is the reason why we have all sorts of physical ailments, why we're not able to be present, why we're not able to enjoy the next moment because we're holding on to the old ones. So when you let go, it does not mean excusing the person for what they've done. It is a letting go of the emotional burden that you are carrying. See, if the other person has committed a fault, why should you suffer? But every time you hold that injustice, you continue to suffer every day. You continue to open up that wound and allow it to fester. Let it go. For what? For your peace of mind. It is not necessarily forgetting what the person has done. It does not absolve the person from repercussions, from karma, from justice. By all means, the person should be punished. But why should you be agitated about it? Another person decides to eat chilies. Lots and lots of chilies. Huh? And your stomach is burning? Does it make any sense? They ate so much chilies. They will suffer the consequences of their actions. From your side, forgive. What does that mean? It is letting go of that negative emotion. And the only way you can let go of that negative emotion is if you grow in your spiritual status. Imagine Jesus Christ, a person who tried to do the society good, tried to impart knowledge, love, help those who needed it most. He was physically tortured, emotionally rejected, intellectually insulted. And yet, he says, "Father, forgive them. They know not what they do." So, forgiveness comes from a higher understanding that when a person does harm, they really do it out of ignorance. Because when you perform harm, you will be agitated. When you perform service, when you perform the opposite of harm, good, you will be peaceful. So when that person performs harm, when that person steals, when that person is perhaps corrupt, when that person takes or insults, they don't realize that that is not the way to happiness. Why? Because they lack the education. Morris Maeterlinck, he says, happy and blessed hour means you will be a happy person when wickedness, don't see it as wickedness. When wickedness stands forth, how should you see it then? It is goodness without a guide. So if that person who's performing a crime, who's performing harm, had the same education and values as you, perhaps they would not be reacting the same way. What a powerful quality forgiveness is. In fact, the Bhagavad Gita uses the word balaha. Balaha means children. They're just children. But if you are also a child, you will also fight with the toys. And you will be upset. And you will say, Mommy, 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 he took my lollipop. And we're fighting here. Oh, he took my money, he didn't repay my loan. It's because we've not grown to a higher status. Now, I'm not saying you let these injustices happen. By all means, take action. Whatever needs to be done, do what needs to be done. Take it to court, take it to the police. But inside, do not let it bother or agitate. Shanti. The next quality. Now we move to intellectual level. So far, which qualities have we covered? Tapaha, ahimsa, and ksantih. Forgiveness. At the intellectual level, satyam. Satyam means truth. What does it mean to live a life of truth? At the intellectual level, it means, are you true to your roles, to your goals? Are you true to what you've decided to do? So the mind in our personality, it goes all over the place. Doom scrolling. So the mind goes, takes an adventure, looks at different things, and they say, oh, what is happening? I believe there's a cricket match on, goes and checks the score. They say, oh, there's a sale going on, and goes and checks the sale. And then I believe tickets are cheap to Mauritius. You go and check the tickets. And this is what the mind does. It just wanders. Now, when you live a life of truth, it's being true to what you've decided to do. So my question to you is, if I was to go around the room, Kirit Bhai, what is your goal in life? Can you say it in a line? Geeta, what is your goal in life? What are you living for? Don't say, no, I'm retired. From life? What is your goal? What do you want to achieve? Say, please, at 72, what can I achieve? My teacher, Swami Parthasarathy, in his 70s and 80s was the most productive time in his life. At 90, he was saying, Sudhakar, what is happening in Geneva? Are we going this year? Are we going to Czech Republic? Come on. He's motivating us. What is your goal? And if you don't have a goal, you cannot be true. Because the intellect does not know what to choose. Now the goal can be small, the goal can be large, the goal can be unselfish, the goal can be small. What? Just to complete the home, to clean out a room. That could be the goal. Keep the family together. That could be the goal. What is your goal? Satyam. And deeper version of this is being true to your conscience. Because your conscience is the role of the intellect, the subtle intellect, always pointing you towards enlightenment. Is this activity taking me towards my evolution, or is it taking me away? William Shakespeare says, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. It must follow as the night the day, must be so regular, so routine, one after the other. Means you must know what your truth is. Then you know exactly what to agree to, what not to agree to. Someone asks you, can you come for the weekend? Check. Is it taking me to my goal? No. Is it taking me towards evolution? No. Sorry, can't make it. Are you clear? But what do? We are more concerned with our acts of kindness. How can I say no? You say yes because of lack of clarity. You actually lie because you are not being true to yourself. Saying no is not a weakness. Saying no is saying yes to what? To your true self, to your goals, to enlightenment. And the last quality or practice for today is manana. Does anyone know what manana is? It's like banana with the mind. Huh? Very easy to remember. It is the intellect sending your mind in bananas, going all directions. Takes one turn here, one turns there. It literally means reflection. Reflection is what makes us wise. Because when you take knowledge and you reflect it, means you think about it, you stir it up, you allow it to absorb into your personality, it becomes wisdom. Many people have knowledge. You find there are great teachers, sages, saints, sages, let's say professors, who have the knowledge but do not practice it. Why? Because there is a difference between knowledge and wisdom. You can see in the chart, in order for knowledge to become wisdom, there needs reflection. Now, if you are reading, what are you doing? You're gaining knowledge. But if you're not thinking about it, if you're not making it your own, it does not become wisdom. So today we've given a few practices. Unless we think about it and ask ourselves, how can I practice tapah in my day-to-day life? How can I look after my energy better? How can I practice not harming others, ahimsa? What things in my heart are heavy? How can I practice forgiveness here? Let me be clear about my goals, satyam. Now you're reflecting. So it's not that you let the lecture end when we end. You allow it to stay with you. Then it gets absorbed into your personality and you benefit from it. Do we get wiser as we get older? I'm saying wiser, not whiter. Some people say, yes, we get wider. As we get older, do we get wiser? Not necessarily. It depends. It depends on, do you reflect on your experiences? Experiences are data. Now, if you don't analyze and reflect on the data, you don't learn from it, you don't become wiser. Somebody said, why are you talking to Sudhakar? He's only married one time. You should talk to me. I'm 3 times divorced. I have more experience. It is not about knowledge. You may have many experiences, but you may not learn from them. Now, when you read a book, when you go through your day, have you made time in your day to reflect on that knowledge, on that experience? Otherwise, it is wasted. You will still get stressed by the same situation. You will still get agitated by the same thing your partner said. Why? Because you're not making time to reflect. The best time for reflection is in the early hours of the morning. It is called sattvic time, 4 to 6 a.m. Now I'm saying this is the ideal time, But let us try for any time in the day. If I get an afternoon nap, I try for 4:30 a.m. If I don't get an afternoon nap, 5 a.m., 5 to 6 a.m. Maybe that is, I've seen the lifestyle in Nairobi. It's possible. Sleep by 9:30, 10, wake up at 5. Get that hour before you start getting SMSs, before you start getting emails, before the kids wake up, before the duties start. Get that time for yourself. And this is the time where we get to build our intellect, where we get to develop and take that knowledge, make it wisdom, because that's how we grow, that's how we improve. Now, if it's not early morning, fine. Whatever time in your day, let that be your me time, your reflection time. Because this is what brings about the change. This is what brings about the wisdom. Your manana time. Your me time. Your time for your own thinking. Not to watch the news, not to watch a program, but to take knowledge and absorb it. This is it. Wisdom time. Other times, not as effective, but you can. Rajas from 6 to 6, it's meant for activity. Tamas is when we should be ideally resting, sleeping, because our thinking starts shutting down. What kind of study should we do? One recommendation for your manana time is get Vedanta into your daily life. Even if it's for half an hour, a little bit of reading. Remember, it doesn't matter about finishing the books, the material, but using it to provoke your thinking. So maybe read 1 or 2 pages, a topic, and then think about it. So now we've had this lecture, now think about it. Go away, make it yours. And what I would recommend is these 4 books. They are the curriculum for our study. In fact, even those of you who are studying the Bhagavad Gita or the Upanishads, if you read these books in this order, you will be able to directly understand the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita. But it needs this foundation. Now, fortunately, we had the weight allowance, so we brought these books from India. Read it in this order. First book first, The Fall of the Human Intellect, understanding our personality. Then immediately applying it in our work and our homes. Third book, if you don't apply these principles, your mind takes over. It destroys your relationships. It destroys your health, everything. The Holocaust of Attachment. And ultimately, the book of our generation. It is the Vedanta treatise, the Eternities. It is the complete Vedanta philosophy. See, if you read the Bhagavad Gita, there are pearls of wisdom, but they are not organized. You read the Upanishads, it's not organized. But what Swami Parthasarathy has done, and perhaps because he had the time to do it, he's invested a lifetime studying all the different texts, all the different literature, the different religions, and putting it from the beginning to the end. Ensure that this book is in your home. It has the ability to change the way we think. So I'd recommend getting the whole set or starting with the first book and definitely having the last book in your home. So what are the qualities that we have discussed today? Tapaha, austerity. Non-injury, ahimsa, shanti, forgiveness. Then we have satyam and banana with the mind. Manana. So, let us try and make this ancient wisdom modern. How? Not by knowing it, by living it. So take these few principles today and be the change you want to see, as Mahatma Gandhi said. Thank you.